back to Advocate Today. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. Everyone has a moment where a Whitney Houston ballad served as the backdrop to something big. Now, her life and rise to stardom is being examined in the new biopic, I Want to Dance with Somebody. I caught up with director Casey Lemons and stars Nafisa Williams and Stanley Tucci about the film, including Houston's relationship with Robin Crawford and more. Hi, thank you for chatting with me this morning. The film really resonated with me, so thank you. I wanted to begin by saying that I went into it hoping that Robin would even be a little bit of the film. And then, of course, it's this really beautiful story told with such respect. And I wonder, would you talk a little bit about creating that piece of the film that means so much, especially to Black queer women whose stories have been erased over the years?
Yeah, it was very important to me to tell that story. In some ways, it's a story that I was aware of from the beginning. I think just the community of artists that I came up in as a young actress in New York, and Whitney was East Coast, and we always knew about Robin. And I mean, we didn't really know, we were speculating, but we always saw her with Robin, and came to really realize that that was a very important friendship, and really wanted to look at it. And then in coming onto the movie and really in talking to everybody who knew her, even if they had emotion about the relationship or you felt that they might be covering something, it became very clear that this was an extremely significant person in her life, and that the story was actually quite deep, and that Robin was somebody who had her back, and who she cared about and who she trusted.
I have to say, I really moved by the framing of the film around the medley at the American Music Awards, and this medley of love, and really kind of highlighting various kinds of love. You've got Robin and Bobby Christina and Sissy. Would you talk a little bit about that decision, because it really framed the film so well?
Thank you for relating to it so easily in terms of her relationships, because that's really what I'm trying to say. Whitney's life was filled with love, and there are all of these love relationships that are kind of interconnected, and some of them are healthy, and some of them are problematic, and there are different kinds of love, and ultimately her love affair with the audience, which is very significant, very deep, and the place where she really found home.
Would you chat a little bit about working with Naomi, who's just what a heavy lift to portray Whitney Houston, and it's a really beautiful performance.
Yes, no, I mean, she's amazing. Naomi is the real deal. I think that she brought so much talent with her, and then proceeded to work as hard as anybody could possibly work on the research and the development of character, worked on the accent, worked on the voice, the mannerisms, and then is so gifted that she was able, and she was so prepared that she was able to just enter the scenes and just let all that go and be in the moment of just a woman, this particular woman, and how she was as a person, how she was as a sister, a mother, a daughter, a friend, a lover, and take that in this enormous arc of time. That is, so it's not just taking on this woman, it's taking on this woman in this huge period of time. I mean, what a heavy lift, like you said, but this was the right actor for the job. She's a star. I mean, I think Naomi Ackie is a star.
I want to begin by asking you a little bit about playing Robin, who, how did you create this character who, depending on who you talk to, is a controversial figure in Whitney's life? I imagine that's a little bit of a challenge.
Well, I didn't approach her as a controversial figure. I tried to approach her with the foundation of their reality, which was love and adoration for each other. The responsibility that they withheld to one another, to the friendship. It's a really important piece of Whitney's life. So my intention was to be really careful. It's a fragile topic, if you will. And I just wanted to be really careful on how I approached it.
It's such a beautiful performance. And
Thank you.
Yes, truly. And I went into the film hoping that it would be even touched on. So I was really so happy with the outcome. And, it's such an important story, especially, I mean, you were in Black Lightning, you played TV's first Black lesbian superhero. And that was so huge. And I wonder, would you talk a little bit about what it means to you to give back stories to people whose stories were erased, especially queer Black women?
Well, I always say, I said this during Black Lightning, and I can always say it again because it's the truth. I know what it's like to be underrepresented in America and in the industry. So I was really sensitive, and I had a lot of empathy for Black lesbian women in America, or even in the industry, even young women not seeing themselves on TV. So to give a voice and to be a vessel through Thunder and now through Robin, it feels very, I guess, full, and it's a blessing to be used in that way, because my hope through all of my characters is that I get to push the needle with the story that I'm telling, and hopefully, I get to do that again with Robin.
Well, someone who's been pushing the needle for a little while is Casey Lemons, and I wonder,
Yes.
would you chat a little bit about working with this incredible director?
Yeah, as you could imagine, there was a lot of pressure of playing a real life person who is actually still alive and who's going to see this. I was really nervous, and I was kind of questioning, how am I going to do this? And Casey just made me feel really safe. And she reassured me that I had everything that I needed in me. And I was like, well, if I just go off of my audition and the connection that me and Naomi had, that would carry me throughout the film. So, I was able to get out of my own way and not let the anxiety and the pressure that I was even putting on myself get the best of me. I just did the research, found as much as I could. Robin's autobiography was a huge saving grace for me. And I just said, if I could have the foundation be love and the truth of their relationship, then I'll be okay.
And you mentioned Naomi, whose performance is just outstanding. So I wonder if you would just talk a little bit about working with Naomi.
Kudos to my friend, how she was able to embody Whitney the way that she did, and tap into Whitney's essence. There were times that I was on set and I was like, girl, you are freaking me out right now. And stopping myself from full on crying, because it was just so many magical moments that I saw her in. And it was beautiful to be alongside of her and watch, as I imagine it was just as beautiful for Robin to be there. No one was as close to her as Robin was.
Congratulations on the film and this really beautiful portrayal of Clive Davis. And I know that he was a producer on the film, and I wonder, did you chat with him at all about the creating the character, and would you share a little bit about that?
First, I watched the documentaries about him. I really didn't know a lot about Clive Davis.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary that was made about him. I read his book, and then we were able to chat. I was filming in Italy, and we were able to do a Zoom call. That call was really, really helpful. Yeah. He's very open. He's very, very easy to talk to, obviously watching the footage of him over and over again helps me get his voice, helps me get the way he walks, and then the way he aged, and all that.
The film also touches on, in a really lovely, beautiful way, Clive's bisexuality. And I also went into the film wondering if the film would even touch on the relationship with Robin, Whitney's relationship with Robin. And I think it does a beautiful job of giving stories to those that were erased, especially in the 80s and 90s. And I wonder if you'd speak a little bit to that aspect of the film.
Clive's, coming out, which is very subtle, which is sort of, it's so different. And it's really, really interesting. And I'm glad of it because, we're seeing it. I wonder if everybody's lives would have been different had they been able to just be who they were. I think her life would have been distinctly different had she been able to just be who she was.
Thank you for the chat, and congratulations on the film. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks to Casey, Nafisa, and Stanley for speaking with me. You definitely want to check out I Want to Dance with Somebody in theaters as of December 23rd. For more entertainment coverage and my full interviews with Hollywood's biggest stars, open the Advocate channel wherever you stream. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and I'll see you next time.